Hello, everybody. Today we have a special guest from Texas, United States of America, Clint Wagoner, here with us. How are you doing?
Hello. Good. Thanks for having me.
How did you get into this music production and finally into the mastering stage? And who are the clients that you usually work with?
I've been in music for quite a long time. My household wasn't really musical, but my grandmother was real musical, and I was close to her, and so she kind of planted the seed. And then when I got to be in high school, I ended up playing with a few friends, and we totally sucked. And that moved on to playing in more bands. And in 2005, we recorded a record. One of the bands I was playing in, and it was pretty good. We thought we were going to go somewhere, and we got it back from the studio, and I was not very pleased with, I guess, the final product. The mix was okay, but it just kind of sounded thin and weak. So I had no idea what mastering was or mixing really. I was just a musician, so I decided to take a crack at it, and I put the WAV file we got back from the studio into Reason, and just kind of played with EQ and compression a little bit, and didn't know what I was doing. Just tried to make it work with the ears, and ended up with a product that we all liked as a band, and we ended up making that the final master. And through that process, I was introduced a little bit more into the sound side of making music. I didn't think much about doing any production as for a living, but I ended up getting married and having a kid. And when I had my first child, I had to stay home. I was the at home dad, So I did a lot of electronic music production because I couldn't really leave, and I could be there and I could do it from the house. And I ended up having some really cool tracks that ended up getting released on Dirt Lies and Audio out of the UK. And through that process, I had a lot of producers hit me up asking me how they could get their tracks sounding as big as I was, and the types of techniques for the post processing. So I started helping people out for free, and then it started becoming a little bit more than I wanted to do for free. So I started charging a little bit of money, and from there it just kind of grew.
Which would be the few ones? I mean, maybe let's make it only three people because I know there's a lot of you working. So who are the main three that you're really proud of what you did, and you're very satisfied with the final product that came out of your productions?
Absolutely. So one of my favorite clients ever, his name is Brad Knight, and he's a killer producer. He is one of the nicest guys you'll also meet, funny, and he has worked with some really big artists. And through him, I got to work on projects from Welshly Arms, Missio, Medic, and these are bands that at the time I didn't really, they weren't doing anything so much as they are now. And it was pretty awesome to watch these guys grow and get to be a part of their trajectory. My biggest known client has been Killer Mike with the South Park crew, and that was a Nomad gig. We got a phone call one day. I picked up the phone and had no idea who it was. It was just a random call, and it was an agent, and he's like, "Hey, I've got a client coming in through Dallas tonight. He's kind of all over the place. Really, he's a rapper. You may have heard of him, Killer Mike. I was like, yeah, definitely heard of Killer Mike. Cool. What are we doing? And he's like, well, we got this thing that we got to do for some TV show. And I was like, okay, great. Turns out it was Comedy Central. So I was just like, wow, very cool. And it was not only Comedy Central, it was their biggest show, South Park. Wanted to have Killer Mike come on and do a song for one of their episodes. And the song was called Heroin and Hummels. I think that's the name of the episode, too. It's hilarious.
What is your mindset? How did you actually make it through all the noise and everything all the way to get, clients like Brad Knight and ultimately, Comedy Central and South Park show? How did you do that?
Well, I think the key factor in all of it is being open and meeting new people. You can be good at what you do all you want. If you just sit in a little room all day and do it, and you never want to go out and get some FaceTime with people or reach out and speak with people that are doing the same things you are, the chances of any type of job really landing in your lap that's going to be worthwhile is very slim. For me, my opportunities have always come usually after reaching directly out to people that are doing what I'm doing, and usually better than me at it. My goal is to always try to surround myself with people that are really kicking butt, and typically what happens is I do that. I integrate myself with them in some form or fashion, whether it's coming and hanging out with them at the studio or maybe possibly doing some work with them. But through that and maintaining those relationships, occasionally stuff just falls into your lap. It's just a matter of meeting as many people as you can, doing good work, and making sure that you are somebody that people can trust. I think that's the key part. When you're somebody that people can trust, they will then tell other
Yeah,
people about what you do.
you said that the trust is very important. In the industry, as the music industry, when the distrust is really strong, how can you, stay positive and actually, trust people up front before you probably even really meet them and do work together? What's your mindset about this?
Build bonds with the people you're working with. Don't just see them as, a money source or an income source. If you're working on a big project with somebody, know your role and know the time when you should be putting information out and when you should be taking information in is a big one.
Yeah.
That's a huge one. But the main thing is to cultivate your relationships, especially with people that can take you to other levels. I think I see a lot of people around me that do what I do, that think that their skill alone is going to get them where they need to go. And unfortunately, that's half the battle. You've got half the battle down. And the next part, the next phase should be definitely networking and growing your network of people and professionals in your industry, even if they're competitors. Because I don't know how many times I've had, competitors farm things out to me and vice versa.
What would be, one really critical advice that you would give to any audio engineer that's trying? It doesn't matter if it's young or old, just, having a battle, the battle every day, trying to get through the month. What would be your one core advice that you would give to these guys so they can, move forward?
Never stop learning. There's always new things that come out. There's always new tools, plugins, software, theory, genres, styles, everything. Never get comfortable and get complacent. Always be looking for the newest thing. Look for new technology and figure out a way to implement that into your workflow. That is probably one of the biggest ones aside from networking, in my opinion. If you get complacent and you decide that, yeah, I'm good, I'm a master at what I do, that's when you'll probably start seeing that bank account start dropping.
Yeah.
So
What do you think about our headphones? How do they integrate it into your workflow? What are, the situations where you rely on them to help you out when you're mixing, mastering, or whatever you do?
I fell in love with these things as soon as I got them. When I opened the box, I was just like, oh, these are beautiful. The wood grain, I don't know what the exact words are, but open back, super comfortable. The leather strap, it's so comfortable. And, when you take them out, you're just looking, it's like, these things are amazing, handcrafted, and they're just beautiful. And that was the first thing that I was just like, wow, blown away by. But then I plugged them in and I started listening to what they are putting into my ears. And immediately, the first thing I noticed is a huge, warm, open, big sound stage. It does not feel, or does not, it doesn't feel like I'm wearing headphones either. I can work for hours without any problems. But the sound, it makes you feel like you are there in the room. That's the best way I know how to put it. It's not like you're listening through headphones. It's not. It feels like the band is completely encompassing you, and it's just saturating you with awesome vibes. Super warm but flat. Not too big on the low end. Perfect on the high. To me, I think that for mixing, these things are amazing. I do a lot of mastering check on them. So when I'm mastering, I do them on the big speakers. But then before I even think about taking it to the car and listening, put on the cans, and they're just amazing. I think these are the best headphones I've ever used. And the fact that you're making these by hand and getting them out across the world is amazing, dude. So very much kudos to you for that and your team. I think y'all are doing a great job. It's amazing, amazing product.
Thank you.